This is not as much comment section magic or comment section fun on Feather Hunt 18. This here is more in the sense that Joe Blue are a walking contradiction. What do I mean by that? Scrolling down, remember, sort by newest first. Scrolling down, you have Philip. Further down in the comment, you then have these two facts about and Joe Blue talking together. I implore you to read this and then read this because this is the section. The reality is I'm against cheaters. You are on my side or you are on the enemy's side. But that's not how it works. And he knows that. Also, he doesn't know how to use this here. If I can actually... The use of ambiguous language to conceal the truth or to avoid committing oneself. This here is not what he is doing. He's using proper English language to talk about the truth and reality. Now, Joe Blue throws around fancy words without actually knowing what they mean. That's a fact of itself where you can use to say, do not trust Joe. But this here is more in this part here. That's also a fundamental reason why I know you're all cheaters, because not one of you are on my side trying to help me or be on my side. This here is a blatant lie. Yes, there are countless of people trying to help Joe, and I will make this a little pause to read section because I'm gonna go through a crap ton of it. And that's gonna be the main focus of this video. Proving that people are trying to help Joe Blue, but he's not accepting help. And then calling those people for cheaters. And I still do not know what a Saris is, but yeah, Joe's English is at the level of a kindergartner. Of excuse making and no real argument and ignoring irrefutable facts, calling something irrefutable facts just because Joe demands they must be, doesn't mean they actually are. So you can keep running your gymnastics all you want. The position you're taking against me proves your motives and whose side you're on. Team cheater. Well, fact of the matter actually is, Joe are taking the most mundane clips, the most mundane shots, and calling it cheats. But he's doing it because he's dying to these players. Not because they are actually cheating or anything. Joe Blue cannot handle losing. That's reality. Pause to read if you want to see this, because that's how Joe Blue are gonna talk about it. No, this is what Joe Blue are gonna talk about, and he's obviously quoting it. Even if you try to remain neutral, you are still helping Team Cheater because you're denying numbers against them. No. Being neutral and not accepting your false allegations is not helping Team Cheater. In fact, it should be helping you become better at catching cheaters, which would help Team Anti-Cheater. But because you're not actually taking this as, you call it yourself, a war, but just as a joke, you are helping Team Cheaters. That's what you're doing. Nobody sees something sus in your clips. You can just, like, again, quoting up here, because they are rage hacking. Rage hacking is like 1% of all the actual cheating. 90% of the is done subtly to be hidden. Okay. So Joe says 1% are rage hacking, 1% are the blatant ones. I uh, I use this video here as reference in my last video, and it's super fun to actually see because huge here, which I respect, have made a spreadsheet of the cheaters he has caught and such. This here are the cheaters he caught. This here are the so subtle cheaters that are suspicious, but he couldn't determine whether or not they are actually cheating. This here are the blatant rage hackers that Joe are talking about. This here are the hackers that Joe actually are saying. This is the percentage I'm catching. Number of cheaters are the rage hackers that should only amount to 1%, while sus but not 100% are the 99% of hackers in Hunt Showdown. According to Joe, you can literally see it here. And he continues with requires good observation and critical thinking, operating under the assumption there will always be a fingerprint on the crime. Like, as you can see, 1% of them are obvious hackers, cheaters, and 99% of them are subtle. Uh, but one that spends his time actually catching cheaters are apparently not capable of catching, like, if we just take Asia, that number 375 should be, no, that's not correct. That's only double up. But if if rage hackers are only 1% of something, I don't remember how to calculate that. 375 divided by 100,000 times 100. So it's not 100,000. What if we then take divided by 75,000 times 100? Slightly closer, okay. 375 divided by 10,000. That's 3%. So it needs to be closer to 13. That's 2.8%. 17? Damn. We need to be in the 30s. 30,000. Then we're closer. 37? Ah, wow. There we go. 1%. Duh. So, wow. So Joe says, coughing. Wow. Coughing. Joe says 1% are rage hackers. That means the total amount should be this here that are hackers, removing the 1%. So the number of cheaters should be 37,125, while the sus but not 100% should have been 375. If that's how you're gonna look at it. Like, Joe does not know what cheating looks like, and he's making it so obvious saying this here. Like, this in itself are proving Joe does not know what cheating looks like. Because he thinks the blatant hackers are the minority. In games like Hunt and Tarkov, where your equipment literally are at risk of being lost, there are far more blatant hackers than there are any one other type hackers. Because they don't want to lose their equipment. But it does require intelligence to understand critical thinking and observation, which a lot of people are lacking these days, including Joe Blue. He does not have the intelligence required to understand critical thinking. And he most certainly does not have the intelligence to make observational point of view or observation thinking, whatever you want to call it, to make observations of cheating. Because all his actual, like, I caught a cheater, are of his own gameplay. The small amount he's actually playing the game. Huge here, on the other hand, spends roughly 6 hours every single day spectating an entire lobby, trying to find someone, and then seeing how they are actually behaving. Huge are spending, if I should take a wild guess, 40 hours more than Joe Blue trying to catch cheaters at minimum. But that's only going in an amount of 2 weeks. If we do go and take the amount of 2 weeks, and we then say Joe Blue have played 0.2 hours the last 2 weeks of Hunt. Well, then Joe have played 12 minutes instead of the 84 hours. So if we take 84 hours times by 60 minus 12, then Huge, the last 2 weeks, have been catching cheaters 5,028 minutes more than Johan. Like, Huge has literally made it his job to also catch cheaters. He's a streamer, he's a Hunt player also, and he spends, as he talks about in this video, roughly 6 hours every single day spectating lobbies, catching cheaters. If you then further look at where he catches these cheaters, majority of them are in Asia. Joe Blue are playing in Europe. Huge also went to EU servers, saw 71 matches, and only found one cheater, and it was a solo guy. Like, Joe are catching more cheaters than legitimate anti-cheater people. People directly catching cheaters are catching less cheaters than Joe Blue. This was gonna be about the part up here. The reality is, I'm against cheaters. You're either on my side or the enemies. So now I will find a crap ton of comments showing you where people are correcting Joe Blue to show that he can do better, but Joe ignoring that and calling these people for cheaters. On the very same video, Field of 118, we have Cyber Ghost. Here he describes very clearly why it's not that evidential, that it's, I'm sorry for the sound outside, that Joe's clip are actually just speculations. And he continues further down here saying it's speculations, it's not very convincing. Joe continues by saying it's proof that they pretend to not see the player. They gave too low footage, FPS footage. He also says it up here, which is completely retarded. They were aiming in an L shape, which I've already proven is completely incorrect. The other guy has perfect lock on 10 frames, which is impossible. And Joe then said previously it was only 8. So now he's changing it up. It's proof, it's not opinion. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's proof, Joe. That's why you gather evidence and makes it proof. A thing you don't know how to do. But he then continues, or I'm actually correct, and you're just trying to just an angry cheater. See, and then he's calling this guy here an angry cheater. But here again, CyberGhost are going through while why someone are doing something and Joe is incorrect, and again doing it. Joe's response to CyberGhost, like you get the point. There. From the same video, again, we have another person attempting to actually show Joe the way, say why he's wrong, and Joe stubbornly sticking to the I'm right, I'm always right mentality. Like it's amazing how often he does it in just one video. And 1, 2, 3, 4 comments on Joe's. This guy here made his first 4 comments right here, and Joe are always already saying like he cannot be trusted, whatever. Here, Comey Roy says you were holding a flare, and Joe then makes a misconception of what the reaction time is. If we then do average average human reaction time, that is indeed a fraction of a second. 250 milliseconds is indeed a fraction of a second. That's the average, and Joe Blue complains about it being average, while he also states further down his own videos, a video collection. Let's see if I can find like this here. That he's a demigod in terms of reaction testings. Like, it doesn't add up. Again, a lot of people explaining him why he's wrong. Next video. This here is the video 17 in regards to Got You Good. This guy here is explaining why he's not cheating, and Joe are like, no, he needs to be cheating. Like, he doesn't try to get better. He's not even trying to understand the perspective of someone being better than Joe. This here is, again, from 17, and he's saying directly the entire video shows absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. So that means the entire collection of quote-unquote evidence Joe are showing is within the norm and shows absolutely nothing about cheating. But you can see, like, Joe directly insults the guy from the very beginning, together with other people also. Again, pause to read. I will scroll down through it like this here. So I will not go through it all. Whoops, I was missing one from Joe there. And this here is the bottom of it. Now you have your time. This comment here, saying that in Hunt, because of slow rate of fire, is the first thing you learn. It's basically turn-based because of how slow it is, unless you have fanning. However, Joe are instantly just insulting the person. I'm not gonna go through this, but you can watch the other player's perspective. Got You Good 0900 sent a link to the channel, and he actually shows how legit his gameplay is, but Joe are trying to twist reality. Again, on 17, this is gonna be a lot of people that actually correct Joe. Here you are having someone explaining him in details, in a breakdown, why what happened is perfect for the situation. Joe are like, you're mental if you think people have all this information memorized and act on it. Insulting the person directly. Joe are not trying to learn from the mistakes of his own video. He then quotes Occam's razor in a breakdown of why that is a good thing to be doing. Like, visually, you are moving very slow by sidestepping rather than sprinting. That has absolutely nothing to do with how got you good we're playing, thus not an assumption. Visually, you look to be in the tier 1 and 2 skin, which is easy to see. Again, against the background. Again, not an assumption. That's actual facts of the game. Has absolutely nothing to do with making assumption on Got Your Goods playstyle. By shooting, you can apply counter pressure to keep you from pushing them while they try to heal. Again, not an assumption. That is knowledge based on the game itself. And Joe are like, I need to be right. Okay, I'm not gonna pause to read if you want to read further down here. It is a rather long one, 23 comments. I have, if I'm not mistaken, otherwise I will do it, done the read more, so you will always have the opportunity to actually read everything there is, and it's not hidden. Because that would not be fair to Joe or the other people commenting. And there we go. It's gonna be a really long one. Here again, 17. Joe are talking about the rage hackers that are blatant, while Huge here are talking about rage hackers, as Joe called them, being majority, and the sus people hackers being minority. Joe is saying rage hackers are 1%, aka the minority. Joe does not know like how cheating in Hunt is working. Proven yet again. Here on 17 again. This here is not very descriptive, but it's how Joe are handling the comments further down here. Again, pause to read. I will go through it like this. I will just say I do not agree with everything Oz Freeborn are saying or doing, because he is a walking contradiction. But he is at least giving Joe hints to what he does wrong and what he sometimes can do better. While Joe then are ignoring everything, claiming he is the god of being correct, and such things. Uh, yes. Again, on number 17, someone telling Joe that he's wrong and why, and Joe dismissing it. Pause to read. Majority of it is all Freeborn. So, yeah. And I think that's the last of them. Yes, it was. Filth of Hunt 16. Again, Major White explaining why Joe are horrible at the game. Pause to read if you want to focus on it and you haven't already. Filth of Hunt 16 still. Tilendil. Oh, by the way, again, every single time I'm doing this, sort by newest first, because otherwise you might not get all the comments. There are problems on YouTube that for some reason blurs out, or well, rather actually removes certain comments. You can see here, Talendal is very, very informative and descriptive in what he's saying, and you're ignoring it. Then we have Crosshair Rat doing the exact same, and Joe ignoring everything they're saying. I will scroll up here, and if you are desiring to pause to read, there are 28 comments. You can also go here and read it yourself. but I will scroll through it in this speed here, and it is amazing how Joe are actually ignoring anything and everything people are saying, proving Joe wrong. But that, in my experience with Joe, that is literally who he are and how he conducts everything he's doing. He will not ever listen to anyone other. Oh, I missed one there. Anyone other than himself. But yeah. Let this here be evidence to you that Joe does not desire learning. He does not desire improvement. And this here was just like some comments on 16, all the comments I could find that directly are going through on telling Joe what he's doing wrong on 17 and 18. I already got tired of it. The video is already 26 minutes. Like, I still have 15 Fortnite frauds, Hunt Showdown, 14, 13 of Hunt, 12 of Hunt, 11, 10 human benchmark enforced cheaters, Hunt 9, Hunt 8, Hunt 7, new cheater trend in Fortnite, Joe versus trio cheaters, filth number 6, number 5, Fortnite fraud. I think, yeah, Soul Survivor versus cheaters. He also did it in here. Like, I have a crap ton where I can do it. I can just take number 2. Nah, you know what? We take the Soul Survivors. Sort by newest first. I will not pause this as I find the comments. Nope. I'm so glad you decided to show unedited gameplay, full match, blah blah blah. It's pretty impressive the amount of knowledge you have for 1 hour, but an absolute lack of game sense, understanding of player behavior. Okay, so here is an example I found live as I'm recording without anything, and Joe are directly just, but you're making statements. Yeah, that is not a man wanting to improve. This here is a selfish kid needing to be pampered. But as before, let's just go through it. Pause to read. I don't really want to myself because of how long. Yes, there we have it. It's a Cobium comment. Like, you, fucking Christ, it's insanely huge. I will let you pause to read again if it is. There we go. I hate it when Joe are doing this, because it proves to everyone that he does not desire listening. But he's contradicting himself by saying, you must listen to me. I'm catching cheaters. You must listen to me. Why should we? Why should anyone listen to you when you are directly insulting everyone else? And this here was just like finding a comment. That's what I did with all the others. This seems to be the same part again. And this is the same guy, so I imagine he's doing the same up there. Like, Joe are not interested. Let's see how he responds. The reason is because I already had belief they were cheating. I had them move, and then they never moved again. What? I don't even remember this one here. Oh. So the game where where Joe are spending like 7 minutes getting the first. Oh, sorry. How long time was it? Where Joe are spending... There we go. The game starts 1:17. We are at 5. Joe spends 4 minutes in the first compound. How do I know it's the first compound? Because he got one clue going back here, back to the beginning of where he's running. You can see he's running up to the same log amount, the same compound. He's just derouting Catfish Grove. Does he pull up the map later here? Does he pull up the map, please? There we did. Catfish Grove. Joe have not moved from the initial compound. And then someone else finds the fourth clue. Like that should tell you exactly how horrible Joe are at the game. Just saying. That alone should inform you how horrible Joe are at the game. Spending 4 minutes finding one clue. Sorry. Benefit of Joe? Spending 3 minutes and 40 seconds finding the first clue. That's actually wrong. 30 seconds. 3 minutes and 30 seconds finding the first clue. Note it's in the tower. If we go back and we get it to show back here. Note it's in the tower. We are now 1 minute into the game. Does it drag over there? No. 1 minute into the game. The tower is right here in the corner. If we go further back. This here is how he enters the compound. He sees the clues over there. That's fine by itself. He then decides to take the long way around because he didn't want to step on that zombie. Points down where there should be absolutely no one. The tower should be over here. He doesn't scan for it to learn where it is. And he heard a zombie. Let me... Here, now you can hear it yourself.
Get these grunts off my arsehole, man. If footsteps on wood could be a grunt.
And yes, he is sitting basically in the open, while this compound up here are giving possibility for cover to all his potential enemies.
Nope,
Like,
definitely a person.
this here is how he plays. He then crouch walks even further. He's not even running or anything. He's just walking. That tower there is where the clue is. He spends the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds, roughly, looting the compound. He doesn't care about the game whatsoever. He's just, I need loot. I need loot. I'm a loot goblin. That's what I am. I need loot. Even if I die, I still need loot. I need loot. I'm a loot goblin. That's how he behaves. But yeah, that's why these people down here in the comment section are telling Joe how horribly wrong he is. And Joe Blue are just reaching far and wide. I need to be good. You cannot say I'm bad. But yeah. I thought I would be able to cram more comments in here. But seeing how many there are just in one video by itself, it's basically impossible. Here we have another one. And what does Joe answer? Checking both windows requires more time to check and react to than just single window open. Yeah, I remember this clip. It wasn't that one, it was clip 2. This here is the part.
Arrow's gone anyway, yeah.
This here is
Okay,
the checking one window takes less time than checking 2. Joe opened it at 5:53 and decides to peek 5:57. So he had 4 seconds, 4,000 milliseconds, and then Joe's like dying a little later. And as you can see, Joe are not attempting to learn from it, because he's like, no, I'm super good. The part of the reason why I claim aimbot because the reaction is too fast. Yeah. Using 4 seconds to react is too fast. Which also proves you're not as good as you think you are if 4 seconds are too fast reaction time for you, Joe. Like, literally defending your own horrible gameplay. I could understand you would claim too fast if what you did was stand there and then go peek at the other window. But what you do, like, peek now, peek. No, you're not. Like, they already saw there are no one in that window there. And then you're just standing there with your weapon pointing out. Oh, I can show that again. You're just standing here with your weapon pointing out. You're blurring your own vision over there, so you have no idea where there are anyone from this angle. But they can still see your weapon. Potentially. Like, yeah. Oh, shit.